Absolutely.
I know, I can't do anything about this stuff. The arrow over. Try it again.
Okay, we did ours over the humanistic theory, and the definition is the belief that people are capable of controlling their lives through choice, creativity, and self-validation. And then the definition continues is the humanistic theory has sometimes been referred to as the third force in psychology, distinct from the two two more traditional approaches, which are psychoanalysis and behavioralism. And then some characteristics are positive self-regard, awareness of personal feelings and of those of others, acceptance of responsibility for decisions, and ability to solve problems. Okay, and then for Maslow, Maslow expanded the field of humanistic psychology to include an explanation of how humans need to change as an individual, like through their lifespan. And this ties in with the hierarchy of needs. The Maslow's hierarchy of needs are ranged from humans' needs that are from the most basic physical needs to the most advanced physical needs. And then just continuing, the levels of Maslow's hierarchy are psychological, safety, love and belonging, self-esteem, and self-actualization. And that's my source. Okay, Carl Rogers. He was a humanist. He believed if an individual attained self-actualization, that they would be a fully functioning person living a good life. And by good life, he meant that the individual would look like they would have a positive psychological outlook. Rogers' definition of self-actualization was Rogers' belief that humans are born with a desire to be the best they can. Self-actualization is the motivating force for their full. Carl Rogers developed his theory of personality, and his whole theory of the fully functioning person was that they would be open to new experiences and aware of their own feelings and those of others. They would live in the now, fully immersed in their experience and not restricted by conditions of worth or self-concepts. They would not be afraid to make decisions based on their own experiences, and they would trust their own feelings of doing what is right and will accept the consequences. They also accept that life changes, and they welcome the opportunity to use their creativity in adapting to new changes. Here's my source.
I had how we can use the humanistic theory in the classroom, paying attention to the role of the non-cognitive variables in learning, such as students' needs, emotions, values, and self-perceptions. The teacher guides the students into correct actions. He or she does not tell students what to do. In a humanistic setting, students are more likely to openly discuss their options, feelings, and problems with learning. Humanistic atmosphere is established in the classroom by the teacher expressing genuine interest in each student. The teacher's primary goal is to understand their students' needs, values, motives, and self-perceptions. Most importantly, the teacher's goal
Introducing Legs Sheer Energy Sheer Tights. Soft, innovative for massage and energize your legs. Leave you feeling and looking great. Say hello to your new favorite tights. Sheer Energy Sheer Tights. Leave them for legs.
First of all, let's change 4.5 yards into feet. That gives us 13.5 feet. And now we can divide 13.5 feet by 1.5 feet.
I've seen this video before. My favorite part of it is that he doesn't
Right
even tell
after
the
it's
students why
done.
he's doing what he's doing. There's just no reason.
Okay, and so activities was a common goal. What we decided to do was like, we did this with like a group of kindergartners. Go over the song the Itsy Bitsy Spider, and then as a classroom, talk about like how many legs you're gonna put on the spider, what color you're gonna color the spider, what color the eyes are gonna be, what type of spider. Like do it as a classroom, and come up with the common goal for the entire. Pro Children's Day Making. During an environmental responsibility unit the teacher would provide like newspapers, recycled magazines, just things that you can recycle, and have the children put it together to have it like explain themselves, activities they like to do. This would boost children's creativity because they have to search through magazines and find things that relate to them. Specific roles and responsibilities. Cooperative learning groups promote
children are actively exploring and experimenting during play, so it's mostly involved with science, so the children are doing science projects and they're investigating stuff. Characteristics are it's open-ended, it encourages students to formulate ideas, it gets them actively involved in their own learning process, it aids the understanding of larger concepts, and it stresses cooperation and teamwork.
Play replay is one of the parts of investigative play. So basically, the kids play and they come together and discuss what they found in their play the first time, and then they go and replay it. So they can either replay it because they really discovered things how they are, or they can add additional materials and see what they can change about the first play. Examples of investigative play, you can provide them with lots of different materials like flour, sand, and water. And they can mix water or starch together to make oobleck. They can see what different kind of mixtures work together. They can test the hypothesis for a perfect soap formula, which is the example that was given in the book. And then they can combine materials together to make a ball that rolls the best. And this video, which I don't think is on here, it is on here. It's just the same color as the background. This video kind of shows that third example.
Vicky, do you remember her name? Miss Shelley. And do you remember what Miss Shelley was doing right here? What is she teaching us?
After recalling their field experience to the training room,
Hey, would you point to the one that you want? Okay.
children use balls for balancing, rolling, and exercise. Another day, children hypothesize about what they could use to make balls.
Jenna said we can make balls from grass. Can we do that? No. I don't know. We're going to have to find out.
They investigate to test their predictions.
Okay, Jenna, now what?
Now you take it off,
Okay, let's take it off. And then,
and then you put it around,
okay, Teu's got it started here.
and then you put a little
A little more. Okay.
Then, they document their findings.
Were we able to make a ball with this tree? Okay, can you put that back where it belongs? We're going to sort these.
Children experiment to see if the balls roll and how fast.
The children were talking about that some balls roll and some balls did not roll. So I knew I was going to need to build on that.
Would you please test this ball for us today?
I knew I was going to involve this ramp, this thing that I had found at the hardware store that I don't even know what the name of it is.
1, 2, 3, roll.
It allowed children to move around and really physically experience this whole rolling phenomena.
All right, here we go. Henry wants to know, how can balls roll?
Henry's question about how balls roll sparks a lively discussion among the 4-year-olds.
You put your hands on it and you roll. If you leave it out in the driveway, the wind would blow it and it would roll.
Oh my gosh, the wind can blow a ball and make it roll.
Afterwards, they go outdoors to investigate.
So what made your ball roll?
I pushed it. It does roll.
Documentation in the form of charts, drawing and writing, graphs, and photographs helps children keep track of new learning. An ongoing collection of balls, sorted by the children, provides additional documentation for many of their findings.
Feel 'em.
It's squishy.
I know, can you believe that?
Yeah, I can put this in.
Several children came in and saw the balls had deflated and wanted to try to reinflate them.
Push, Ray, push.
Okay, Rafe, go. I was trying to get them to see and hear that as they were using the pump on this side, the air was still coming out on the other side.
Can you feel that? Can you hear anything or can you feel anything? What is it that you're hearing?
The ball.
One of the children ran and got the tape so that they could attempt to correct the problem. They took tape and they patched it over the crack in order to try to find out where the crack was. They got the magnifying glasses and they looked really closely at the balls, realized there were actually cracks that had to be repaired.
It's tiny.
The investigation of inflating balls continues outdoors.
We all have together. Yeah. If we work together, we'll get the job done.
To conclude the ball study and celebrate learning, family members came for lunch and went to the park to play ball.
It's important for children to do in-depth investigations. It's only when you stay on a topic over time that children really develop investigative skills, the predicting, the really close observing, trying to find out what to do when they have a problem and coming back and investigating it and then going back to solve the problem another way. It's been amazing the kinds of skills that have evolved.
So, some benefits of investigative play. It helps children develop important skills such as questioning, reasoning, sorting, concentration, fine muscle control, matching, counting, estimating, tactile awareness, and mathematical and scientific thinking. And how can we support it as a teacher? We can plan lessons with a purpose, keep play tasks open-ended, engage the students in high-quality interactions that help them discuss their findings, ask what-if questions, and encourage students to make predictions and provide the appropriate materials.
The last two, lucky us, they actually ended up together, but those really tie closely together, right? The problem-based learning and investigative play. Because we're trying to figure out the balls and how to blow those out and figure out what to do. That was problem-based learning. So investigative play and problem-based learning really go hand in hand, and you can build those two together. That could be a big giant hint for your collection. Big giant hint. Yeah. I want you to remember that for your future classroom. Destructive communication, you know what that means? If a child acts out to gain your attention, so does something because they need your help with something else, but they're not able to share it that way. You have a child-centered classroom, consider what kids need and guiding them instead of telling them, they're more likely to not use those kinds of methods to gain your attention. Does that make sense? Yeah. Sorry, totally threw you off.
This theory can be used across various subjects because hands-on learning discovers learning, and problem-solving is very versatile. An example for a language art lesson would be for 4th grade, and right here is, 4th, 5th, 6th, something around those ages, not necessarily 4th, but you'd pick a story, a children's story that they read as they were children, the Itsy Bitsy Spider, the Tortoise and the Hare, the very famous The Three Little Pigs, and, you can do it as an entire group at first where you read this story to them halfway through, and then you split them up in small groups, you let them pick out a story. Each group has their own story to where they will read to a certain point. They won't read the ending, but they will read, let's say, half of it, 3/4, whatever it is, bless you, and then you will go from there as in their each groups, they will come up with their own ending. And how we talked about the centers and stuff like that, you give them this story and all you basically tell them is, tell me how it's going to end. And then as you walk around as a teacher or as an instructor, hey, that's a great way, you're doing great, this, and that. Afterwards, after they've all completed their task as to the end of their story, they present it to the class. So each group will come up to the front, hey, check it out, here's my story.
Yeah, it's your instructions, do one day. Social learning theory. I know, right? Are you ready?
We have social learning theory. I'm Brianna. This is Morgan. Oh, there we go. In the social learning theory, Albert Bernard states that behavior is learned from the environment through the process of observational learning. Which favorite video to go with that? Yeah, it's right underneath it, but we tried to.
You can see it better. It was purple.
To advertise.
He is so trying to do that too.
Okay. Bandura, he believes that humans are active information processors and think about the relationship between their behavior and its consequences. Observational learning cannot occur unless cognitive processes were at work. He believes a lot, like, I don't know if you guys have learned about it, but the blow up Bobo doll, he's the guy with that. Like, basically, he had a kid, two kids look at adults and how they treated the Bobo doll, and depending on how the adult treated the Bobo doll is how the kid would act. So, like, if the Bobo doll was treated right, the kid would act well because the Bobo doll was treated well. So he believes that reinforcement is internal and external, which that means internal is like you want to do good because it's in your heart. That's really cheesy, but that's true. And then external is like if you get a piece of candy for doing well, that's like external. It comes from an outside source. And it can be positive or negative. So like if you get a stamp for doing well, that's positive. But if you get negative reinforcement, that basically means like someone goes, don't do that. And then if a child wants your approval from his parents or peers, it's external, like I said, and then but feeling happy about being approved is internal. And then this is some examples that I talked about. External is a sticker or a piece of candy for doing a good job. And because you got that, you feel good about yourself and you eat the candy. And then a child being praised in front of the class, that feels good, so you want to keep doing it because you want to get recognized in front of your peers. And then you get a thank you card when helping out a friend. That makes you feel good and wants you to continue to be helpful.
Alright, basically whether or not you're intentional about it, you're going to be using social learning theory in your classroom because kids are always going to be learning from their peers. But ways you can be intentional about it is to plan a series of rewards or specific actions in your class, which is a great way to be creative as a teacher because you can really cater this to your kids and what they enjoy and what's going to be a positive reward for them. Design specific ways for students to earn these rewards. This can include participating in class regularly or high group average tests. So like, okay, if we can do well on this test, we're going to have class party. Creating an encouraging atmosphere in class by staying positive and reacting positively to students' questions and comments. Developing positive techniques and reacting to students' failures and misunderstandings, which is a positive way to explain to a student that their answer is wrong without sounding discouraging. So like, I ask you to raise your hand and answer a question in class. You get the wrong answer and be like, no, that's wrong. Oh, the class thinks you're stupid now. Okay, we don't want to do that in your classrooms. Demonstrate new concepts clearly and praise students when you see them demonstrating the right method to address a question in class. And provide a strong moral example for your students and encourage them to incorporate those morals in their lives, which is, you don't always think about this one, but it's also very fun. And we're excited. Thank you guys.
Yeah, I'll give you a couple minutes to wrap up your notes, and then I will answer any questions you have still remaining about these theories. And we'll finish the rest on Wednesday. Just as an FYI, the grades for this won't show up until after you submit your reflection because I take into account the learning you reflect in your reflection as part of your group grade here. So don't freak out if it doesn't show up soon. Does anyone have any questions about the theories presented?
We can hang out in front of the camera. I mean, it's totally cool. Yeah.